Hello. I'm up okay.
Hello, good evening, everyone. If you guys can hear me, kindly indicate via the chat box. All right, thanks. So once again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depends on wherever you are joining us from. Welcome to another CyberUp series from Diary of Hackers. So today we'll be having a CyberUp series on the ethical web hacking section, and we have our guest who is going to take us. So before we go into that, if you are joining us for the first time, I would advise us to go check out our other previous CyberUp series. This is the third edition, so the first and second edition are on our YouTube channels, which will be dropped here soon. So, and also, if you are new to the Eye of Hackers, the Eye of Hackers is a community of cybersecurity enthusiasts, so we get to know each other better and try to train ourselves to get better, both from enthusiasts and from professionals alike. So for today's session, we'll be having SaintMalik to take us, and I believe it's going to be a great session for everyone. So let's just patiently listen to our tutor, and he's going to introduce himself. SaintMalik, are you ready? So while he's getting ready to join us back, you can follow us. Our media, social media platforms will be dropped, so you can follow us on all our social media platforms. Also, you can follow each other, so you can drop your Twitter handles, so we can get to know each other better.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, SaintMalik, are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, so please kindly introduce yourself to us, and let's get
Okay.
straight to this session.
Okay. My name is Salah Malik. I go by the name Saint Malik online. So I'm a penetration tester, a security guy, and a front end developer. Okay. Hello, guys. Can you hear me? Hello.
Hey, hi, SaintMalik.
Yeah. Can you guys
Yeah,
hear
good
me
evening
now?
and thank you. Yeah, we can. And
Okay. Okay.
so, sorry, before you dive right in, can you give us a brief of how you get started in the security field?
Yeah. I started from primary school. From primary school as a developer, like as a like coding from coding learning programming. So when I got to secondary school, so I I dive into ethical hacking. I started learning about social engineering and stuff like that. So towards the end of my secondary school days, so I dived into web application security. So I decided to stay with that one. So that's how I've been learning about security and the tech of it.
Oh, okay. Thanks for that brief intro. So, Rootfish will take it out from me.
Okay.
Okay, I guess it's not in. So, we just start with the presentation, sir. You can just dive right in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when it comes to web application security, knowing the basic of web application security, how the internet work, how the server respond to a request, and then knowing about networking, knowing about knowing few things about HTML, CSS is not necessary. Knowing few things about JavaScript is also needed. It enhance how you find things and how you look into things. Though programming is not necessary, because we have some people who doesn't even know anything about programming and they are still good at web hacking. But having a knowledge about HTML, JavaScript will enhance your skill and also help you in finding things. So learning about web verb, HTTP requests, post, get, put, patch, delete, all those things. Let's take, for example, when you are requesting to a server, that will be a get request. So when you are, let's say, you are trying to log in into a web server, that will be a post request. When you are trying to update or change a picture on a particular web server in your profile, it could be put or patch, depend on how the server is, how the web application is built. So let's say you are trying to delete a particular post, or you are trying to delete your profile from a web application, that would be a delete request method. So we also have an add, we also have option, we also have trace. If you are trying to debug a particular issue on a web application, you can use trace. Most of the time, if you find out a web application takes in trace, you can use that to look for debug information on that particular web server. So also, if you are trying to, after the basic or the networking basic, the how the internet work, you can then move on to learning about the vulnerability types from the OWASP top 10. We have let me, can I share my screen?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, can you guys see it now? Then you can look into the OWASP top 10. Sorry. And cross-site scripting, SSRF, injection, broken authentication, security misconfiguration, broken access control, SML, external entity, SSE. We also have an insecure deserialization. We have insufficient logging and monitoring. And then, yeah, that's you can take some few weeks to dive into the OWASP top 10 security risks and then learn more about those vulnerability types. Then maybe after that, you can decide to pick one and learn to understand, to practicalize on a real web application or either labs, and then that's how it is. So let me go to a particular. So OWASP has they are OWASP is having this OWASP juice shop for like a lab where you can practicalize. Also, we have BWAP. You can use BWAP also to practice. Sorry. Hello, 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 guys.
Yes, SaintMalik, please go on. We can
Okay,
hear you.
okay. So you can use BWAP also. You can, and also we have Postwinger Web Security Academy. Okay, let me go to that particular one. So you can learn and the Web Security Academy of Postwinger has a lot of detailed explanation about vulnerability types and bug type, and also how to find them, because there are labs also here. Let me check. Okay. As you can see here, we have learning materials and lab, information disclosure, web page poisoning, business logic vulnerabilities, SQL injection, cross-site scripting, CSRF, that's cross-site request forgery, SSE injections. So let's view all learning materials. And then, yeah, as you can see, these are detailed learning materials. And also, let's look into the information disclosure vulnerabilities. Information disclosure vulnerabilities are vulnerabilities that are related to maybe leaking of debug information, leaking of the Git repo, it can be leaking of credentials also from a particular part, or a particular, maybe a particular part on a particular web server that is not protected, like is not locked down. So the particular part is accessible to the public, so which is leaking the password or username, or it can be credentials of the users or any other PPI information that maybe they are sensitive. So as you can see here, we have how to test for disclosure vulnerabilities. You can either use fuzzy method, you can use Bob scanner, and then yeah. So I believe everyone can see this, right? Hello.
Hello, yes.
Okay. So can I go on with the lab, like go on with the
Let's
practicals?
let's
Hello.
let's take a quick break, then we'll get back to the lab.
Okay. So now, as you can see here, we can use fuzzy method. If you are there, okay. Okay. So fuzzy is like maybe you are trying different. It can be trying maybe you have a word list of parts that are common and on a particular web application. Let's take, for example, a PHP web server. So now you can take a particular list of possible or known PHP parts that can leak maybe sensitive information, backup, saved backup files, and then you run it against it. Like, we have these particular tools that you can use. We have you can use Bob also. I do use um Fools, Fu FUFF is a particular tool that a guy created. I can't remember his name. Let me check. Okay, this is a tool. I think this is it. So this is the particular tool that I was talking about. Fourth. Okay, fourth. Yeah, fourth. So you can use it to perform fuzzing, brute forcing, and so many other things too. You can get the tool here, right? Yeah. The tool was built with Golang. Yeah. So that's the, you can also use Bob scanner, like using the Bob intruder. Yeah. So you have, yeah, you have a particular list. You insert your payload there. You position the path, maybe slash, maybe you are trying to the web server, the path which you want to brute force with the payloads, and then you set everything here and you run it. So we also have, yeah, you can also like searching regex, like maybe you know about some particular regex in which you can use to like search through a load of JavaScript files to get what you need. Let's take for example like maybe a path to admin, or a parameter, or a credit. Let's say for example you have a load of JavaScript files on your system, of a web application on your system, so you can just um like grep out some particular useful information that you believe can disclose sensitive data. So that's the one of search. Okay, yeah, we also have find comments. When developers and when they are creating an application, there are chances that they will have some, maybe a particular feature, a feature which is not meant for a particular like some set of people, but they ship, since they are in hurry to ship that code base to the production. So they might comment out that particular feature or that particular details, so that it won't, like, those code won't run when they comment it out, it won't run on the normal application. So view sourcing a code and reading through the code, you can see some commented some codes that are commented. It can be credential, it can be any feature, it can even be a part to a sensitive web page. So reading through and like finding comments within source code is also important. Like, yeah, we also have discovering content. We can discover content through spidering an application for hidden parts, also checking through the robots.txt, and also we have wayback machine. So let's take for example, wayback machine is like is a particular web page that stores old versions of an application, like a screenshot, a and like it has a copy of the particular of any web page for different days, years, or so let's say when a startup or a company launch, so they are coding the whole web server. So they don't want Google search engine to index some particular sensitive or maybe highly sensitive page on Google search engine listing. So they might comment, and they might use Google sorry robot.txt to hide out those particular page or parts, so that Google search engine will not index it. So maybe later on in future, they restructure the web application, and like they change the code base, but chances are they might forget to remove those existing parts, but which they like forgotten to remove the existing parts. So those parts, you won't chances are that you won't find those parts on the a new version of the application. But using wayback engine to get the old version of the robot.txt, you will have advantage of checking if those parts are still available, and luckily you can find something useful, sensitive, or that can even lead you to getting something sensitive. Also, we have sitemap, and having access to the sitemap of an application gives you a better insight of and the pages, the maybe is and a list of page, or maybe whether they have a page separated for maybe the admins, the registered users, and so many things. You can access so many things on a sitemap of a page. It gives you a better a deep insight of what and which page are available on the website. Also, we have engineering informative response. Yeah, verbose error messages. Let's say you are working on a particular web application, and the application needs to take in, maybe let's say a put, or maybe a get, and you replace that get whether with option A or something else. So chances are the application might respond in like in a way that, like, so I don't know, yeah, the application will respond, might respond somehow, which can lead to like passing out errors that can leak sensitive data, or that can leak maybe the version of the application. So And also most of the error messages can come along with maybe debug information or anything. It can be anything, but most of the times it is giving information about what technology or what template an application is running on. So common sources of information disclosure, we have files for web crawler, directory listing, developer comments, error messages, debugging data, user account pages, backup files. So maybe a particular company backed up their web server, whatever, on their they store the backup data on their application. Let's take for example a PHP web server. There are some common parts which you can run against a PHP application. And if there is a backup file available on the web server, you might be lucky to see it, maybe getting a 200 response from the brute force or maybe fuzzing. Also, we have insecure configuration. Maybe let's take for example the Git repo now. If the Git repo is not configured in a way that it won't be available to the public, so maybe they should is giving a response of 200 to the public, is accessible by anybody in the public space, so it's not okay. Version control history is also the issue of maybe .git or .slash and .svn, having people having access to the version control history, the .git and the .svn. So yeah, the files for web crawlers, I mentioned about robot.txt and sitemap.xml to help crawlers navigate their site, and you can navigate to the robot.txt manually to see if there's anything useful. Also, we have directory listing. Yeah, the issue of directory listing. Let's say, for example, a particular application that stores credentials of their users or maybe credit cards of their users on a particular web server, and they're having the issue of directory listing or directory transversal, whereby people can browse back or from to and fro in the application parts. So let's take for example a particular website that has www.sososo.com /js admin.js. So cleaning the admin.js, you are in the folder of the JS, which supposed not to list out anything, but listing out stuff like that. So chances are you can also browse those parts. If you know much about the web application server, you can browse those parts to either // hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so browsing through the parts, you can access some sensitive information. So we also have the developer comments. I made mention of developers commenting out a particular feature or a particular part or a particular information out of the production code base. So we have the error messages. So yeah, maybe you are trying to log in into a particular application and you are trying some SQL injection to see whether you get an error back, or maybe you are trying some OS command injection to see whether you get some response, error message, or anything that will give you insight of where to move or where to go or the next thing to try. So we also have debugging data, like a WordPress application that turns on the debugging mode. So making it available for anybody to browse to that particular debug page to see what is running, whether a plugin is misbehaving, or the debugging information can leak different type of thing. It can be plugin version, maybe there's a template issue. So debugging information to information disclosure that can either leak out sensitive information or information that can lead to gaining more insight on where to attack, on what to attack. So we also have user account pages. So maybe a particular user, you are trying to browse to a particular user page, and then like some logic flows, maybe user A has a particular, maybe you are browsing through the receipt page. Yeah, the receipt page. So the receipt page is having maybe some numeric numbers attached to the web link. The first receipt, you were seeing that like in the URL, maybe slash receipt slash 001.txt or maybe .pdf. So trying to change those numbers, we call that IDOS, insecure. Yeah, we call that IDOS. So trying to change those numbers to see whether you'll be able to access and receipt 003, 004, which can leak informations about the what was done by some other users, or maybe what was shopped on the particular platform by other users, and maybe the receipt might even contain some address and any other thing pertaining that users. So we also have source code disclosure via backup files, and maybe a situation whereby a particular platform maybe saves their backup on a web server. So and their source code saved their source code on a web server, like as a backup, accessing 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 stuff like that. Or maybe, yeah, that's it. So also we have an information disclosure due to insecure configuration. So if a web application is configured inappropriate, you can manipulate and play around let's take for example the nginx misconfiguration, whereby a user can browse through parts of the web application due to a single misconfiguration of slash in the redirect, in the nginx redirection. Also, we have the version control history. Those are the exposure of the .git or .svn repository to the public, whereby people can browse it, download the source code, check for sensitive information, or even check the source code of the web application. So can I go on with the labs now? Hello?
To go on a short break, then after the break, we'll go ahead and continue with the labs.
Okay.
So guys, let's take a quick break. As I said, you can drop your Twitter handles, follow our social media platforms. Then once you are back on the break, we'll go on with the labs so as to get it more better.
These guys are good. Let's get to work. A hot little startup with a great idea. Their target, a ProPass. Offices in 12 countries, 5,000 staff. You'd think they'd be secure, wouldn't you?
Make some noise. Pause.
A smokescreen. A decoy breach to hide what they're really after. Confidential information hidden in the depths of the system.
Still here?
The computer's crashed.
Join the club. See you Monday.
It's okay for some.
Right now, the chances are someone, somewhere, is attacking you. And you don't even know it.
Okay, chaps. We're in.
I bet you're wondering how they got this far.
Give us a smile. Lovely. She's in.
Sensitive passwords and system details from a keystroke logger hidden under a desk for 6 months.
You got it?
Easy.
These guys, they know it all.
Except, a few weeks earlier, a Probas were hit by a smaller breach. It made the board stop and think how vulnerable they were. So they brought in the experts. It's never just an IT issue. They carried out cybersecurity training from boardroom to basement, identifying what was critical to the business. Threat and intelligence monitoring. They planned a cyber incident response and brought in their own ethical hackers to test the systems and make honeypots to trap the attackers. They reviewed the whole business from New York to Tokyo and devised a game plan for any breach.
Make some noise. We're in.
It's a denial of service attack. We're just monitoring the situation.
Have they got into any accounts?
Very clever. Someone else bangs on the windows while you hide in the cellar.
They're on to us.
I'll try blocking them.
Is it working?
I don't know.
Well, I need to know, Gil. Is it working?
Lena, launch a worm.
These guys are good. They're really good.
They're blocking us.
Try again.
They're blocking us!
Try again!
Straight to me. Gotcha. Good, but not good enough.
You're okay. Traffic blocked.
You can win, but there's always a next time.
Who's next?
Kobashi Tech.
Criminals just get smarter,
Who have we got for the smoke screen?
Take your pick.
and they're everywhere. A breach will happen, and when it does, will you be ready?
Hello.
Hey, hi.
Okay.
Welcome from the short break.
Okay. So yeah, let's head over to the practical aspects using Bob and practicing the Web Security Academy labs. So we can also use BWAP, and then we also have OWASP shop, but let's make use of this one because Portugal is detailed, so there's an explanation and also a lab to practicalize what you have learned. So let's start with the first lab here. Unprotected admin functionality via unpredictable URL. So now this is like an information disclosure.
Sorry, we
issue.
can't see your
So,
screen.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, are you trying to fix it?
Yes, I don't know what's going on.
You can just check. So, guys, I hope you're having a very good time. And trust me, the lab are excellent lab. I went through it, and Portugal is really a great platform where you can learn your hands-on on web security or web hacking. So just take your time. If it's just for a week, you can go through the lab, and trust me, when you're something else. Okay.
I think I will have to reload this particular.
Yeah, you can go ahead, please. You reload
Okay.
that. Yeah. So you can take like a week to get your hands-on practice on the platform, and trust me, you'll be one of the greatest bounty. What are they called now?
Okay.
Yeah, you're welcome. I think it's
Okay. Let me go and block some things.
You're still sharing the screen, or if you don't mind, we are seeing what you're doing. Okay, fine.
Okay, yeah.
So that I will not copy your credit card number.
I need it.
Yeah.
So I said we should go to the first lab under the information disclosure vulnerabilities, like how to test for information disclosure vulnerabilities.
Okay. Yeah, you can share it right back if you're good.
Okay, so this is the first lab, unprotected admin functionality.
Sorry, we're not seeing the screen.
Okay, you guys are not seeing the screen, but we don't know the URL of the web page, so we have to find it. Okay, so let's go through the lab, access the lab. Also, wait, there are solutions here, but it's better you try before, maybe after trying, and you can't solve the issue or solve the lab, then you can check the people at the solution. So now we have a web page. Let's admin page, like admin web page, do have this common naming admin. In this source code, we have this JavaScript which says variable is admin blah 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 blah.
Sorry, we can't see. Can you kindly zoom in a bit?
Okay. Hold on. Okay, can you guys see it now?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we have I'm view sourcing the code of the login page. This should be a particular page that can give a better insight of where the admin URL can be. Okay, so now we can see this particular script starting from here to here. Variable is admin is equal to false and blah 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 blah. And here we have admin panel tag dot set attribute, the href, the URL. So definitely this should be the admin panel tag dot inner text. So definitely this should be the admin URL part. Can you see now? So now let's try it. Let's try this out. And yes, we are at the admin page. This the page is unprotected. Yes. So now to solve this particular challenge, we have to delete Carlos. Carlos is the only one suffering from post-figure web academic lab. Okay, so now the lesson that this particular lab is trying to teach us is that we should always look into source code, read through JavaScript code. Maybe it's not necessary you have to read through all the JavaScript code. You can just grep out, like maybe you can decide to use you can decide to use the find button. Okay, maybe you are searching for an API key, API, yeah. So if there is an API in this particular JavaScript file, or it will indicate maybe there's an API key also. You can check for it. Maybe there you are looking for a particular token, you can check for it. So reading through source code and JavaScript can give you a lot of sensitive information and reasonable things to look after or to keep on digging into. So that's what this particular lab is trying to explain. I hope you guys are with me. Hello. Hello.
We're very much with you, sir.
Okay. So now the second lab, information disclosure in error messages. So this lab verbose error message reveals that it is using a vulnerable version of the third-party framework. To solve this, obtain and submit the version. Okay. So I have this So now we have a web application, and then the lab says you have to obtain an error message in order to get the version that this application runs on. Okay, AC118. So I'm trying to use Bob to check the request, the background, what is going on underneath, the background actions. So AC engine, yeah, this particular guy. Okay, so now let's browse through the application. Okay, we have this. There's nothing here. There's nothing here. A particular page whereby we want to log into an application, you will be seeing post requests. Where maybe we are changing or deleting some things, you can see a delete request. These are the request methods. Okay, so we have this. Let me send it to repeater. Okay, so let me play around this parameter, the product ID. This product ID is only taking in digits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What will happen if I change this digit to maybe a character, maybe my name? So let's try it now.
Oh, SaintMalik, can you zoom in on this?
Okay. Yeah. What's the zooming in option for? Wait, I don't know how to zoom in on Bob. Let me check for it. Hold on, guys.
Sir. Sarah. What's it for, dear?
Guys, I will have to restart my bulb so that this effect will take place. Are you guys there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, please.
So rootfish, I think, is an interesting section, right?
Wow.
Very interesting.
It's too much.
I mean, I'm enjoying myself. Okay. So I think we have gone bigger than expected.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go to this place.
Try.
Let me change it to 24.
Yeah, it should be fine. Yeah.
I think this one is okay.
It's very good.
Okay. So, and also the latest Bob suits has this particular embedded browser, but I don't know. I don't like it, so I decided to use Firefox.
You're one of the diehard fans.
Yeah. So let's reload this particular web page. Okay, so now we have okay, let me send it to repeater. This we have intruder, repeater. Intruder is like maybe you are trying to brute force things, or maybe try a particular list of paths against a particular URL, or try a particular is a particular tool that help you brute force things, and you understand. I believe you guys understand that particular aspect, function of intruder, or maybe I should try using it.
Yeah, you can just use it. Let's see.
Okay, but let me go first to the particular. So I'll send this. You can use the short code is command R over my own system. It can be control R over Windows, but let me show you how to send it to repeater. And now we have it under repeater. Can you guys see this? The whole raw data of the request. You can see it, right?
Yeah. Oh, some people are not really seeing it. Maybe they are using phone, and you can't really make it big again.
Maybe I should try making it big again. Could I change it to 36?
Let us go with this, I think.
Okay. So now this is the particular out of the whole. Let me add to scope. We do. I can't find the whole bubble. Okay. Okay, now out of the whole application, now there's nothing like admin functionality, login functionality, just the web page itself, and we have all these products that has parameters of product ID, which are shown in numeric, which are represented in a numeric form like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we understand that this particular product ID is taking this particular a numeric parameter. What will happen if we try to change this numeric parameter to something else? Let's see how the web application will respond. So we have this one, okay. So wow, we got an error. So if you look close into this error, you see all this blah 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 java.base blah blah blah, and towards the down page we have the web application information like the server itself and the version of the server, which is Apache Straw 2.3.31. So now that we know the version of this application, the next thing that will come to your mind, comes to an attacker mind, is that since this is an old version, you check whether this is an old version of the particular web server or the latest version. The latest version we have patched solution for the existing vulnerabilities on the old versions. So now you look for the vulnerability related to this particular version, and then you search for the exploit and you perform it, and then that's how you report to the web application owner, or maybe it's a responsible disclosure program, blah blah blah. You can just, but the function of this manipulating the product ID parameter to get an error information that will leak the application web server and the version to us. So that's what this particular lab is trying to explain. So now we know that the web server is running on Apache Struts 2.2 version 2.3.31. So now let's go and submit the solution. And yeah, we've solved that particular lab. Okay, so now let's go to the one of debugging information disclosure on debug page. The lab contains a debug page that disclose sensitive information about the application. To solve this lab, obtain and submit the secret key environment variable. Okay. Okay, now, so on this particular lab, we don't have a login URL or anything related to admin. We only have the plain page. Hello guys, are you with me? Hello,
Yeah, very well with you.
We only have the plain page. So the next thing that will come to my mind is maybe looking at the txt. There's nothing here. So let me view source. Okay, let me read through the codes. And yes, we have something that is commented out here. Guys, can you see this particular site that is commented, showing the debug information? So now let's access this page. Okay. And yes, we have the PHP version, and this particular this related to phpinfo.php on a real live web server. Yeah, phpinfo.php. And then what's the lab telling us to do? Okay, we should find the secret key environment variable. So let's search, and yeah, we have the secret key here. Are you guys there?
Hello? Yeah. We're there. We're with you. Okay. So we're running out of time. Maybe in 10 minutes time, can just round up.
Yeah. The answer is correct. Please try again. Okay. Okay, now we solved that particular lab. Should we solve more labs, or we should end this session?
Hello,
Okay.
I think you can just take. Okay, Rootfish will answer that.
So since Malik, I think we have run out of time, and it has been an interesting session. So I want to if you can go through methodologies you follow when you are checking to web apps, just like some methodologies to follow, some things to read up,
Okay, yeah,
then we
yeah.
can call it a session.
So if I'm going through a particular web application, let me log into my. If I'm going to if I'm to test on a particular application, the first thing I will go through is the subdomains, the subdomain of an application. So I will check the other pages that they have. So after checking the subdomain of the application, I will try and probe the application to see those URLs that are still alive, that are still working, and the ones that are dead. So I will separate the dead URLs from the live URLs, or maybe the URLs that are having a 301 redirect. So the dead URLs, they most of the time they are useful and juicy and data. Some web URL that are dead are due to maybe deletion maybe expired service, which the service C name is still pointing to a particular which the C name is still pointing to that particular domain. So that's when the issue of subdomain takeover then comes in. It can be an Azure Pay or Azure Assets. It can be AWS S3. It can be Heroku. It can be GitHub pages. So subdomain takeover issues are somehow wide. Though we have a particular list here. Can I take over XYZ? Can I take over? This is a particular project done by Codingo and then Head Overflow. So you can see here, you will see the list of assets whereby if a particular domain is having a CNAME record of AWS and the particular domain is responding with a 404, then definitely you can take over the domain. Is vulnerable, Bitbucket is vulnerable, and so on. And also, maybe you are working in a particular application and you felt that, or maybe you are feeling that this application is vulnerable, and then you don't have the application listed here. It's not necessary it has to be listed here. This is just a compilation of few ones that you can quickly check and confirm. So you can find some other things on your own, maybe by research or by digging well. So after dealing with the 404 URLs, then I go to the main application. So let me list out some things. I don't have Kali Linux. I just use Bob Suite and my VPS. I use DigitalOcean VPS. And I have few. I have few tools here, and can you guys see it? Hello.
Yeah, we can. We can see,
Okay,
sir.
so now, I have most of the tools that I have here are just subdomain recon tools. This cost test is for maybe if I have a list of URLs and I want to check for cross origin misconfiguration, whereby an attacker can request for a particular asset on a particular page and to his own, and the response will be sent to the attacker's submitted URL. Maybe evil URL can access information on the website of good URLs, which is not okay enough for evil URL to be accessing response of a request from good URL. So I use this one is a tool that a particular tool that I use to automate the process. Also, when you are in looking into a particular web application, the web application can be using maybe non-SQL database like Firebase. Firebase is now a non-SQL database that is common amidst developers now. So, and then the only issues that I see with that particular database is misconfigurations. So developers tend to misconfigure the Firebase database most of the time. So when I discover stuff like that, I just use a Firebase DB exploit to automate the process. And so I'll just run this. Yeah. So blah blah blah. That's just the process. Okay. And so we have GF patterns. It's like a grepping, like maybe I have a list of URLs, or maybe I have a list of spider URLs, or maybe I have a list of JavaScript, and I want to grep out a particular feature, a particular regex pattern. So I use GF patterns. Is a particular tool that maybe that has compiled and regex for different type of issues like SSS and most of the things. And also I have this IIS short name scanner. This is a particular tool that I use for discovering for attacking an IIS web server for discovering some sensitive or hidden files or subdirectories on a particular IIS web server. And we also have sec list. I believe sec list is something that is common within the communities, like a list of word lists that is common. Word list for discovering, fusing, miscellaneous password, pattern matching, payload, username, web shells. So also I have a subdominizer. Is for gathering subdomains, spidering through an application. Sublister is for subdomain also. And also we have cloud enum here. Cloud enumeration is a tool that I use in running. The way the tools work, this particular tool work is in a brute force manner, whereby it takes the name of the company that I entered into the script that I'm about to run into the script. So, and it will run that particular name either front or either by appending the name to the maybe we have Azure website.net, so it will append the name of the particular company, maybe target1.azure website.net, and run it to see whether it's live. Maybe the particular cloud server is live to see. So if the particular server is live, so it will return that this particular web server is registered and it is live. So if chances are this cloud servers might belong to the company that I'm trying to test. So I'll check for misconfiguration. Maybe they are making they configure their cloud in such a way that I can upload, delete, download, rename, and I will test a lot of things. What this particular tool does is that it's help me like it's help in looking for the cloud server that is registered in the name of the particular company that I'm inserting into it. Also, we have a course. Course is like a little script that I wrote in which this guy here course test is replacing this guy. I also have this directory search. This search is the particular tools that I use for parts discovery, content discovery, and so like searching. Sorry. Oh, sorry. So, and also we have Doom SSL is a particular script bash scripting which I'm using to grep out and subdomains from an SSL certificate. Also, we have GitHub searches. I use this one for searching for I use this one in searching for subdomains on GitHub page for a particular company or a particular target I'm hunting on. So we have knock over here is also a subdomain tool, and we have nuclei. I don't really use this particular guy. I don't use it. Also, this nuclei template. I don't use it, but I just installed it, but I haven't tested the particular tool. So we have showdown sub.ssh is a script that I wrote to quickly run a subdomain scan on showdown. But this is the real script show sub go. But I wrote this particular script to instead of going through this particular script and doing all those blah blah blah. So I wrote this particular script to automate that one. So also we have snap is like a I don't know how to explain it. It's like a package in installing some things on my Ubuntu VPS. Also we have we have sublats. I use this one in monitoring the maybe a particular company. So sublat is a particular tool that alerts and send alerts message report to you that there's a new subdomain or there's a new subdomain registered by a company, whichever company that you enter into the sublat. So it will send the particular an alert message anytime the tool runs a subdomain scan and discover a new subdomain. So it will send the alert to you on whether Discord or Slack channel. So we have vhosts.sh. I learned this one from Pentester Lab. Hello, guys. Hello.
Yeah, we're still on.
So I learned this particular one on Pentester Lab, whereby discovering other servers that are sitting on the same host, on the same web server host. So most of the common ones are admin, web, shell, web server, some names like that. So I wrote this particular script to automate that process in scanning for subdomains on through vhost. And so these are the word lists. Let me show you the word list. These are the word lists that I use against it. I get it to as you can see here, we have root, and this is the local host, administration, alerts. These are the common dev, db, corp, and dashboard, hot, backup, beta, test, v1, v2, v3, web, WIS, wiki. Those are the common vhosts word lists that I have. So I run it against this vhosts SH to scan for whether there's there are available subdomains on the vhost of the machine. And so we have visual.js. Visual.js is a particular script that I used to run that to access. Maybe I'm working on a particular application that has maybe 30 URLs. So I use web screenshot. This is a Ubuntu VPS. So I use web screenshot to make a visual screenshot of the web pages. So I use visual.js to view all those. I can't view those images own VPS. This is a remote server that I'm SSHing to. So I will use visual.js is a particular script like that. I got the tutorial from this particular guy blog dot let me check for you. No. Yeah, I think this one. Is it this guy? Yeah. Yeah, it's not this guy. But when I get the particular page, I can share the URL with the host of this event. So this particular visual.js, what it does is that when I run it, it will allow me to have access to a local host, whereby I can visit the local host. Like this, how this developer used to do, whereby they run a local host. Maybe they are running a React or Vue.js program or Node.js, whereby they will have a local host, I think 3,000 or maybe I think 2,000. So I will just copy the address of my VPS, I think 3,000. So I will be able to view those images, whereby that the screenshot script made for me on my own local web server. So that's, but the tools that I use mostly is subdomain scanning tools, and then before I forget, we have EMAS here. I use EMAS. EMAS is the in-depth attack surface. Is the mastermind for, like, it has all the features of knock, and then it has everything in it. So you can can you guys see this is EMAS. This is what so this particular fast soft. So I wrote a script that attach the findings of EMAS, knock PY and knock, and we have sublister, subdomain, and other subdomain tools that I have installed. So I wrote a script that run all the results together and sort it out and remove duplicates and pass the final result to domains.txt. It pass the whole result to maybe subdom.txt and sorts everything out and pass the unique ones to domains.txt. And after that, I use HTTPS. To probe the domains and pass out the domains that are responding to alive.txt. And so that's how I do my own little automation inside my VPS here. So, but the mastermind tool for most of my work is BobSuit and my Firefox. So that's it. Hello.
Thank you very much, SaintMalik. That has been a very interesting session, and we thank you for taking our time to take us through this basic web hacking for this session. So guys, I believe no one have questions. If you have any questions, kindly drop them while we'll round off. So once again, I want to thank everyone for taking our time to attend this session. You kindly follow us on our social media platforms, which will be dropped now. And also, if it is your first time joining the CyberUp series, kindly check out our previous session on YouTube. You can find the YouTube link which I just dropped now. And we hope to see you in more sessions. So once again, SaintMalik wants to thank you for taking our time to take this session tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay, guys. Thank you so much for joining in. The video will be uploaded to a YouTube channel soon. The recording of this will be uploaded to a YouTube channel. So kindly check. The YouTube channel has been dropped. And also we'll be having a great time with one of the staff of Know Before. If you don't know Before, it's a maintenance organization. So you can follow us on Twitter so that you could get more information. So thank you so much, guys, for joining in. Good night. Rootfish, good night, sir. SaintMalik,
good night.
You did amazingly well. Thank you so much.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good night.